Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Time to quickly run through my favourites for April. That is the products that I found myself using, if not every day, then quite often and really enjoying. And as usual, it's a mix of old and new. The old for the face was the mix of the Tom Ford Pink Glow primer, which after a shaky start, I've talked before, it's called the Complexion Enhancing Primer. And although I didn't love it the first few times I used it, I have now settled it into thinking it's the best primer that I own in terms of making the enlarged pores around my nose and chin area look slightly less visible, and for my foundation not to kind of sink into them in a way that I find particularly repellent. I've been using that pretty consistently. I did purchase a base from a new line to me called Too Cool for School, and that hasn't really worked out too well for me. I may give it another try. It's quite nice at giving a kind of glowy appearance, but doesn't really work too well as a primer. And I've also, unusually for me, been fairly consistently using one foundation, certainly for the second half of April, and that was the Tom Ford Traceless Foundation in Pale June. That's actually empty now. It doesn't look like it, but I promise you I've squeezed the final pump. One slightly annoying thing about the hideously expensive Tom Ford is you can't actually pull this pump out as you can with some other products, which enables you to kind of, once the pump has stopped working, dredge out the final dregs of the product by pouring them out. You can't do that without smashing the bottle for Tom Ford, which is slightly annoying, but I've been using that fairly consistently. I have been using the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation as well, but towards the end of the month I was trying out the Artist's Foundation brush that I already made a video about, and so in order to really try it out, I had to use the same foundation and primer every day with different methods of application. So that got me to the end of my Tom Ford. I will repurchase that foundation. I do like it. Not quite as much as the By Terry, which is probably my all-time favourite. Slightly creamier, but this is an excellent, really well pigmented, natural looking foundation. I do like it and recommend it, and it's a definite favourite. A new product face for me this last month was the Guerlain meteorites, which is this fella here. Still kept the box for some reason. Love the pretty tin. This is called the Pearls Carousel. Now, wearing this, however pretty the tin is, has been something of a problem that I have battled with all month since I got it, battling getting off the lid. People who wear this on YouTube talk about it giving a kind of rosy glow. To be honest, it is much more than a rosy glow. There is no way I can wear this in the way I normally wear my meteorites, i.e. swirling all the pearls together with a fluff brush or a blusher brush and using it as a finishing powder, because these pink fellas are really pigmented and they just make the powder too pink as a whole. So experimenting, because I didn't want to ditch the product, I have found that if I use a really dense artificial brush, like this one is a Real Techniques, nice and blunt at the top and fairly dense, I can tap into predominantly the pink fellas, and look how pigmented it is, and use this as a blush. Now it's not coming off very strong on my hands, but I promise you, given I'm a pale face, it definitely works as a really pretty, fairly sheer but with a glow, but a definite blush. And so I've been doing that with the dense brush, and then to try and use the other ones, going in with a much softer Shiseido brush and trying to get the little pearly and the purple ones to use in the normal kind of covering veil way. I mean, I do think the finish that these Guerlain meteorites give is, to say the least, very subtle, and you can get a better finish with Hourglass products and possibly some of the other powders. I'm trying out a Dior powder at the moment, which I'm loving, and that's, although it's supposed to be translucent, definitely gives a glow as a finish as well, much more obvious than the meteorites, but we do love them because they're so pretty and the smell's gorgeous and they're lovely to collect. So I have used this quite a lot, but that's the way I have to use it. Eye products. There was a surprising favourite, this Too Cool for School Shadow on Flat Iron, which I think is called Lavender it's called. And I bought it sight unseen on the Selfridges website. It looked like a standard lilac, which I like. But when I got it, I was hugely disappointed because it just shears out with this really, really glittery shine, basically. And I thought, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to wear that. And I did sort of half-heartedly put it on one morning when I was staying in quite a posh hotel, and no other makeup apart from a bit of BB cream to go down to breakfast, and everyone really admired it. And so it's really counterintuitive because it's very glittery. I will say there isn't much fallout and it's a fine glitter. So it kind of looks, unless you're close up, just like a kind of sheen on the eyelid. It's a very different look. And I wouldn't say I'd wear it a lot, but I have worn it a few times and I quite like it. What else? Other than that, as bases, I've really been using the pencil products. I don't think I even showed this in a haul. This is one of Chanel's new Stilo eyeshadows, came out in the UK probably about 6 weeks ago. And I've had one of these a few years ago. This one's called Beige Doré, which I really liked. When they go on, they give a kind of cooling effect, which is why they released them as a summer one. That's a very, mid-toned gold. You can wear it on its own, or I like to wear them as a base. And the other ones that I've been wearing are the Dior Show ones that I bought at the beginning of spring. I've shown before. Really, really like those. Some people hate them, say they make their eyes itchy, but they work for me. And what I like is having the liner at the other end. I've got these in a couple of colours now, but I really like this lilac-y one. What's that called? Doesn't say. I think it's got a really pretty name. I can't remember what it was. Magnolia or something like that. Not sure. Anyway, it's a lilac-y one. Then eyeshadow-wise, clear favourite has been this little MAC palette from Zac Posen that I don't know what it is about it. It's just a really flattering combo on me. I've worn this a huge amount. This colour here, it's lovely and soft and buttery, but almost kind of, well, definitely skin-toned on me. But it is quite good for evening out the tone of your eyelid. And then I've really been using these three colours a lot, and that one. They just all blend together really well. Although that looks quite bold in the pan, actually on the eyelids, not so much. It just gives a nice definition to the crease. So I've been wearing this as a work eye, and although they're all, apart from that one, which is a matte, lustres, I guess, or frosts, they work really well. I haven't worn that one very much. Love having a nice pale colour that I can use on my inner corners, which really need lightening, in the same palette as whatever I'm using. So that's a real plus with that one. Really like that palette. Definite plus for MAC. And then of the Tom Fords, this is the one that's been my favourite recently. I haven't worn it a huge amount, but I have worn it. Look, honestly, it looks barely touched. Again, I've got a colour that I can use, although it's quite warm, to brighten the inner corner. These two do a very nice, fairly neutral, smudgy eye. And this is a gorgeous colour. I don't normally like the glitters, but it's really nice to use as a liner on the upper or lower lid, or both, or just a little touch to brighten this up in the evening when you're going out in the kind of mobile part of the eyelid. What is this one called? Last Dance? Yeah, Last Dance. I haven't got Honeymoon yet, but this is easily my favourite at the moment of the newer releases. And then finally, this is an oldie, but a goodie. I saw it on somebody's Instagram, French Carol. Give her a plug. She does lovely photos on Instagram of high-end products. And I remembered my Christmas Guerlain, and I find it a really nice combo for spring, especially that pink and the light gold, just to do a pretty easy eye. So I have been using that, and getting the plastic caught there. The bonus, of course, is you've got the little blushes as well. So if I don't want to fight with my Guerlain meteorites, I can just dip my brush and swirl around all of these. Really, really pretty and quite long-lasting, the Guerlain blushes. I have never bought any individual Guerlain blushes. I only have ones in palettes like this, or, like this. But I really like them. So, yeah, those are my favourites for the month of April. And looking forward to doing some summer looks with my new purchases. I suspect the favourites will feature a lot of new purchases next month. Until then, bye for now.